Hello everyone, I am Dr. Hemant Sharma, Assistant Professor of Botany, Dayanand College Hisar. Welcome all of you in this lecture which has been prepared under the aegis of Director General Higher Education, Haryana for undergraduate botany classes. In this lecture, we will discuss about an important topic of plant anatomy, anomalous secondary growth part 2. In last video lecture, we discussed on anomalous secondary growth in Dracaena. Now, in this part 2, we will discuss about the anomalous secondary growth in Borrelia and Achyranthes. So, let's start with the contents of this lecture. First one is what are normal and anomalous primary structures. Then normal primary structures in dicot stem, anomalous primary structures in dicot stem, secondary growth, anomalous secondary growth in dicots, about the Borrelia, a dicot plant, primary structure of Borrelia stem, anomalous primary structure in Borrelia stem, anomalous secondary growth in Borrelia, anomalous behavior of Borrelia stem, Achyranthes, a dicot plant, primary structure of Achyranthes stem, anomalous primary structures in Achyranthes stem, anomalous secondary growth in Achyranthes, anomalous behavior of Achyranthes stem, and at last the conclusion of this lecture. Now, before anomalous secondary growth, we should know about what are normal and anomalous primary structures. So, most of the dicot stem exhibit a set pattern of internal tissue organization. These are called normal structures. But, however, some dicot stems show a deviation from the normal set pattern of tissue organization. These deviations in primary structures of stem are regarded as anomalous primary structures. What are normal primary structures in dicot stem? So, normal primary structures in a dicot stem is characterized by, first of all, ground tissue is differentiated into cortex, endodermis, pericycle, medullary rays, and pith. This is the transverse section of a dicot stem diagrammatically. In this case, ground tissue is differentiated into cortex, endodermis, pericycle, these are medullary rays, and this is the pith. Further, vascular bundles are arranged in a ring. So, these vascular bundles arranged in a ring form. The vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral, open, and dark. In this case, vascular bundles are conjoint and collateral. This means xylem and phloem joined on a single radius, and in between these xylem and phloem is present a cambium. So this is the cambium. Presence of vascular cambium is the characteristic feature of a dicot stem. Vascular bundles are not present in cortex and pith. So, this is a very important point. Presence of vessels in primary xylem. This is also a characteristic feature of a dicot stem or angiospermic plant in which vessels are present in the xylem. Then presence of monostelic condition. Monostel means a single stele is always present in a dicot stem. Now, anomalous primary structures in dicot stem is characterized by, as some of the members in dicots are deviated from these structures, and these abnormal structures are known as anomalous primary structure. So these anomalous primary structures are undifferentiated ground tissue. Some members show undifferentiated ground tissue. This means ground tissue is not differentiated into cortex, endodermis, pericycle and pith. For example, Peperomia longsdorffi. Second one is the presence of separate xylem and phloem bundles. As we discussed in previous slide that xylem and phloem are conjoint and collateral, but in some case, for example in Paeonia, separate xylem bundles are present, and in case for example Cuscuta, separate phloem bundles are found. Presence of scattered vascular bundle is the characteristic feature of monocot stem, but here we discuss about the dicot stem. So the presence of scattered vascular bundle is also an anomalous primary structure. For example, in case of Peperomia longsdorffi. Presence of vascular bundle cortex region, and these vascular bundles are called as cortical vascular bundles. In previous slide, we discussed that the vascular bundles never present in cortex and pith region in normal primary structures, but in case of Nyctanthus arboretus, cortical vascular bundles are found. Presence of vascular bundle in pith region, and these vascular bundles are called as medullary bundles. For example, in case of Borrelia and Achyranthes, medullary vascular bundles are found. Presence of internal phloem is also an anomalous primary structure. For example, in Calotropis, in this case, intraxillary phloem. Intraxillary phloem is found. The phloem is present towards inner side of the xylem. Absence of vessels in xylem. Some members show absence of vessels in xylem, as presence of vessels are the characteristic feature of angiospermic plant. But in case of Dremis and some aquatic members like Hydrilla, Ceratophyllum, etc., vessels are totally absent. Presence of polystylic condition. Generally, in normal structure, a single stele is present, but in case of Dianthera americana, polystylic conditions are present. Now, before anomalous secondary growth, we should know about the secondary growth. Increase in the thickness or girth of the axis due to the activity of lateral meristem like vascular cambium and core cambium is called secondary growth. As shown in this picture clearly that a young stem in a sapling is converted to a hard woody trunk after some days or months or year, and this is known as the normal secondary growth. So normal secondary growth in dicot plants are characterized by the first one is the formation of interfascicular cambium strip by the initiation of meristematic activity in parenchymatous cells of primary medullary rays adjacent to the fascicular cambium. These are some normal steps in the secondary growth. In this case, interfascicular cambium is formed between two vascular bundles, and this interfascicular cambium join with this fascicular cambium to form a complete ring of a vascular cambium. Therefore, vascular cambium ring always present between the primary xylem and the primary phloem. in case of normal secondary growth. This cambium ring gives rise to secondary xylem towards outer side and secondary phloem towards outer side. Here, in this case, secondary xylem is formed after the secondary growth towards inner side, and secondary phloem is formed towards outer side of the cambium ring. Usually single vascular cambium ring remain active and no extra cambium is formed except a core cambium ring which is extrastellar in origin. This is the cambium ring and core cambium formed after the secondary growth. Now, anomalous secondary growth in dicot stem is characterized by, first one is, what is anomalous secondary growth? The term anomalous simply means abnormal, which is not normal. So, any deviation from the normal type of secondary growth is regarded as anomalous secondary growth. Anomalous secondary growth in dicot stem study via three important steps. First one is normal position of cambium with abnormal activity. This means the position of cambium is normal, but its activity is abnormal. Second is the abnormal position of cambium with normal activity. Here, in this case, position of cambium is abnormal, but its activity is normal. And third one is abnormal position of cambium with abnormal activity. Here, in this case, both position and activity of cambium are abnormal. Here we should clear in this slide what is a normal activity of cambium. As discussed in previous slide, that a normal cambium after secondary growth forms secondary xylem towards inner side, that is towards pith region, and secondary phloem towards outer side, that is towards the cortex region or the pericycle region. But in case of abnormal activity, some of the unusual or abnormal structures are formed after the secondary growth. In this case, so this is the difference between the normal and the abnormal activity. Now, as per the syllabus requirement of the undergraduate classes in Haryana, Boravia is the example of a dicot stem in which we study the anomalous secondary growth. Boravia is a herbaceous dicot plant. It is the herbaceous dicot plant found very normally in the Haryana region. This is the Boravia diffusa, which is grow prostately on the ground. Primary structure in Boravia stem are presence of epidermis followed by hypodermis. This is the primary structure of Boravia stem. In this case, outer covering is epidermis, it is followed by hypodermis, and this hypodermis is colon chymatous. So this is the colon chymatous hypodermis is present. Then cortex is followed by endodermis and pericycle. Cortex is followed by this endodermis and pericycle. Here, in this case, primary vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral, open, and endarc vascular bundle. But vascular bundles found in three concentric rings: first ring, second ring, and third ring. First ring is innermost ring, which is consist of two vascular bundles which are large in size than other vascular bundles. The second ring, which is known as middle ring, consists of comparatively 16 to 14 small vascular bundle. Here in this case, this is the second vascular bundle ring. This vascular bundle ring is the middle ring. In this case, the vascular bundles may be 6 to 14 in number and smaller than the inner one. Third ring consists of 15 to 20 vascular bundles. This is the third ring where the vascular bundles are 15 to 20 in number, and this is the smallest ring. This is the outermost ring and the smallest ring, formed of smallest vascular bundle. Now, anomalous primary structures present in Borrelia stem. By studying the structure of Borrelia stem, we analyze that there are three concentric ring of vascular bundle, which is a anomalous primary structure present in Borrelia stem. Second one is the presence of medullary bundle. This means presence of vascular bundle in the pith region, which is also a anomalous primary structure. Now, anomalous secondary growth in Borrelia stem. With the initiation of secondary growth in Borrelia, in outer ring of vascular bundle, secondary growth begins with the formation of cambium strip in the interfascicular region. These are some steps of the anomalous secondary growth in Borrelia. Here, in the outer ring, a formation of interfascicular cambium ring takes place between the two vascular bundles, and towards the pericycle region. Then interfascicular strips join with the fascicular cambium to form a complete ring of cambium. This interfascicular ring join with this fascicular cambium ring to form a complete ring of vascular bundle as shown in this picture. Towards inner side, this cambium ring cuts secondary xylem in fascicular region and parenchymatous cells in interfascicular region. So it cuts the secondary xylem towards inner side and parenchymatous cells towards the outer side region. These parenchymatous cells further become lignified and form the conjunctive tissue. So this is the parenchymatous cells which lignified to form the conjunctive tissue. So this is the heart tissue which is lignified. Towards outer side, the cambium form stories parenchyma and secondary phloem opposite to the xylem. Here in this case, outer side region is formed of secondary phloem. So this cambium ring form the secondary phloem in outer region and secondary xylem towards inner region. But the anomalous structures in this case formed are the conjunctive tissue which is formed towards the inner side and stories parenchyma formed towards the outer side region. Because of these structures, this type of secondary growth is known as anomalous secondary growth in Borrelia stem. The activity of cambium ring continues for a definite period and then stops its activity. So the new cambium strip develops from the parenchymatous cells produced by the first cambium ring towards the outer side of the secondary tissue. The activity of this cambium is same as that of the first cambium ring, and the activity of the second ring of cambium again stops after producing a definite amount of secondary growth, and a third ring develop in the same way. In this way, about 4 or 5 successive rings are produced, giving rise to 4 or 5 concentric growth rings. Simultaneously, the secondary growth also occur in the inner ring, middle ring, and the innermost rings. This is the innermost ring and the middle ring in which secondary growth also begins, and these are the successive rings in which annual secondary growth takes place in the Borevia. The outer protective covering is formed of the activity of core cambium and the secondary cortex. Core cambium, which forms the layer of cork or the periderm. Here in this case, after secondary growth, cork and core cambium is formed, which constitute the periderm. This is the periderm outer covering. So successive 4 or 5 cambium rings are formed in this case. This is also an anomalous structure, because in normal structure, normal secondary growth, only a single cambium ring remain active throughout the region, throughout the life. But here the 4 or 5 successive rings are formed, which is also an anomalous behavior. So anomalous behavior of Borevia stem is characterized by the abnormal cambium activity. So activity of the cambium is abnormal. In this case, formation of conjunctive tissue takes place, as well as formation of storage parenchyma takes place. So these are the anomalous secondary growth in Borevia stem. Now, as per requirement of the syllabus, we have another plant, a dipod plant, Achyranthes. Achyranthes is a common herbaceous plant found in the wild state or field region in the Haryana. This picture is the Achyranthes aspera. This Achyranthes aspera is also known as ulta kata or putkanda, because here in this case these spine-like structures are towards inner side. So this appearance as ulta kata. Primary structure of Achyranthes stem are: outline stem is wavy. Wavy means presence of ridges and furrows. So this is the primary structure of Achyranthes, where ridges and furrows are present. Outer single layered epidermis and multicellular hairs arise from some cells. So epidermis followed by a thick hypodermis. Here in this case, epidermis is followed by hypodermis, which is collenchymatous below the ridges, and chlorenchymatous below the furrow. Parenchyma is actually chlorenchyma because of the presence of chloroplast in the cells. Then hypodermis is followed by endodermis, pericycle, and endodermis. So this hypodermis is followed by cortex, endodermis, and the pericycle. Cortex is differentiated into collenchyma, chlorenchyma, and parenchyma. Collenchyma present below the ridge and the chlorenchyma below the furrow. Further, vascular bundles present in the pith. Here, these are 2 vascular bundles which are present in the pith region. This is the pith region. So these vascular bundles are known as the medullary bundles. So 2 medullary bundles lie opposite to each other, facing the xylem towards the inner side. In young stem, vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral, open and endark. So conjoint collateral vascular bundles with the presence of a cambium ring. Here in this case, hypodermis is collenchymatous below the wrist and chlorenchymatous below the furrow. Further, cortex is chlorenchymatous and collenchymatous also. So in this case, xylem and phloem having the cambium in between. So this is the primary xylem present in the Achiranthus aspera. Now, anomalous primary structures present in Achiranthus stem. Presence of the medullary bundles as shown in this previous slide. Abnormal position of cambium. Hence, therefore, if the medullary bundles are present in pith region, so their presence of cambium is also abnormal. Its position of cambium is also abnormal. So it gives rise to an anomalous secondary growth. Anomalous secondary growth in Achiranthus stem start in the pericycle region, which is extrastellar, that is from outer side of the vascular bundle. A cambium strip develop which produce secondary vascular bundles. Here, this is the secondary growth in Achiranthus stem, where outside these medullary bundles, in the pericycle region, this is the pericycle region where cambium strips become active, because these cells become meristematic and form the cambium strips. Internally, the cambium cuts off conjunctive tissue alternating with the secondary xylem. So this is the conjunctive tissue which is formed due to the activity of the cambium. Toward the outer side, it cuts secondary phloem opposite to the secondary xylem and conjunctive tissue above the conjunctive tissue. So conjunctive tissue is further formed opposite to this conjunctive tissue, and secondary phloem is formed opposite to the secondary xylem. So secondary vascular bundles are conjunctive, and conjunctive tissue are present without any sharp limits. So phloem of the secondary vascular bundles appear in the form of patches, and these phloem is called as included phloem. Here in this case, included phloem is formed because these are the patches of the phloem which are formed in between the xylem. So intraxillary phloem is found in this case, which is also an abnormal behavior or anomalous structure. Medullary bundles are leaf traces, remain leaf traces, because no secondary growth takes place in this medullary bundles. After producing a ring of vascular bundle, cambium changes its activity. It forms conjunctive tissue and vascular bundle alternating to the previous formed tissues, that is conjunctive tissue above the vascular tissue and vascular tissue above the conjunctive tissue. So it changes its activity. Thus the activity of cambium goes on changing regularly as it produces more rings of secondary tissue which appear as scattered in the ground tissue. So here is the old stem detailed structure of this diagrammatic. Here in this case, included patches of included phloem is present, and this is the sclerenchyma. This means the conjunctive tissue, and these medullary bundles remain as these bundles remain as leaf traces. By after study the secondary growth in Achiranthus stem, we analyze the anomalous behavior of Achiranthus stem, and it is characterized by extrastellar development of cambium ring, which is formed in the pericycle region. So this is the anomalous behavior of the cambium ring. Formation of conjunctive tissue, and this cambium ring results into the conjunctive tissue. Similarly, formation of included phloem, which is also an anomalous behavior. At last, I concluded my lecture as abnormal position of cambium in Beauharevia and Achiranthus results into abnormal cambium activity. Therefore, secondary growth is also abnormal. So this type of secondary growth in Beauharevia and Achiranthus is regarded as anomalous secondary growth, because in both of the cases, both position of cambium as well as activity of cambium is abnormal. Now, at last, thank you.